Welcome to the Own Your Life podcast, where our goal is to help bring hope, healing, and peace by sharing our experiences and inspiring you to own your life. Hey everyone, welcome to the Own Your Life podcast. We're Matt and Ashley Crick, and we want to start by just giving you a little bit of background about us so you can get to know us a little bit better.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt Crick, and I got a background in consulting, banking, and also in the car industry as well. And we're just so excited to have everybody here, listen to everything that we have to share with you guys. We love hiking. We love hanging out with our dogs. We love hanging out with my son, Cameron. We just have so much to give to you guys in so many different areas of our lives. And we're just excited to start this journey with you and be able to share from just some experiences we've had along the way. And hopefully we can bring hope, healing, and peace to you guys. Like, that's our ultimate goal. And I'm going to let Ashley start a little bit here and share a little bit of her experiences, and we're kind of going to bounce back and forth.
Awesome. Yeah. So my background, we both are from Indiana originally, and now we live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I grew up on the north side of Indianapolis in a town called Carmel, and lived there until I went to Purdue University for college. And I studied hospitality and tourism management, which I actually did get a job after college in my choice of study, which I know is very rare. But I became a restaurant manager out of college at the JW Marriott downtown Indianapolis. So did that for a couple years. And then I went into liquor distribution. So I was selling wine and liquor for almost 3 years. And at that time, the companies were merging together. So I was looking for another option because we really didn't know what was going to happen. And we actually had somebody that was close to us recommend that I go into real estate. So I did start to pursue that and got my real estate license. And then I jumped full-time into that and been doing real estate for a little bit. We got linked up with some amazing people that have been mentors to us. We decided to move to North Carolina to be closer to them and just kind of start a new chapter of our lives. We had been wanting to move out of Indiana for quite some time. And that was kind of the tipping point for that. But backing up to how Matt and I even met. So I was still a restaurant manager. So I was probably 20, I think it was 24 when I met Matt. I am 31 now, if that gives you reference. We met at a March Madness game. So that was pretty cool. We're both really into sports. Matt will talk more about, how he's got a background in football. But we met at a March Madness game. I actually had gotten off work early that night as a restaurant manager, which if you've ever done that job, you know that is very rare, especially in a sports bar like I was in. And I had actually called, or I texted my roommate, who was also named Matt at the time. So kind of funny story. I had texted him because I knew he was at the games, and I asked, how is it going? And he called me and was like, hey, one of our friends didn't show up. We actually have an extra ticket. Would you like to come? So I said, absolutely. And I went home, changed, and met them up at it was at Lucas Oil Stadium, downtown Indianapolis, where it was the MSU Duke game. It was a Friday night in March of 2013. So very, very interesting because I wasn't looking for a relationship at the time, and I don't believe Matt was either.
Nope.
And we met that night and talked a little bit, but didn't really have much alone time because there were other people with us. But I actually had his phone number because my roommate's phone was losing battery. So he was using the other Matt's phone to talk to me before I had gotten there. And so I already had his number. So it was very convenient. Yeah. And I had texted him after that night, hey, I wish we got to spend a little bit more time talking. And he was like, yeah, me too. And he pretty much asked me out on a date after that. Right, babe?
That's right.
And so we started dating after that. It was a little rocky in the beginning. Not going to lie.
It's always been amazing. Don't let her lie to you. It's always been amazing. We've never had one problem.
Oh, don't lie to the people off the first episode here. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about our first couple dates, because I'm sure people can relate to that.
As far as the first couple dates go, I would say that I thought the first date went amazing. And then...
Well, we almost didn't get to the first date.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he had asked me on the date. And so day comes and I am super nervous because I had gotten out of a relationship like 4 months before that. And pretty much at that time in my life, I was not about getting married, not about dating anybody. It was just kind of, I want to be by myself, want to do my own thing. And then Matt came along. And so I really wasn't planning on having any kind of relationship at any point. And I was really nervous. He fit the description of probably my dream man at the time. And
Still am.
And he still is, absolutely.
Gosh.
But you fit my description of that. So I was really nervous, like, I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to get hurt again. Maybe I should just cancel the date. So we were supposed to go to dinner and I knocked it down to just going out for drinks because I figured that was a little bit safer and I could leave earlier if I got really uncomfortable. Basically super insecure at that time. And I knocked it down to just drinks and we ended up talking for 4 hours. And I think I only had 2 drinks over that period. So by no means were either of us any kind of intoxicated or whatnot. But we had a really, really good time talking. And he was the first person that I'd ever dated that talked a lot about the future and wanting more out of life. And honestly, that's what really drew me to him. And it was a really, really good first date. It was so good so that I thought it was too good to be true. And the second date, I also tried to get out of. I tried to give him every excuse in the book of why I wasn't available that night. And the issue was he knew where I lived because he worked with my roommate, Matt. Both have the same name. He worked with him, and so obviously he knew where I lived, and the other Matt was going to let him in anyways. So it's not like I could hide. And it was funny because we were on the phone before we had gone on the second date, and I was, just giving him all these excuses, and he basically was like, you know what, I'm going to pick you up at 8:30, and he hung up on me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was shocked. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, nobody's ever spoken to me like that. Matt's going to let him in anyways, so I can't get out of this. I have to go. So I went, and it was amazing. He actually took me to Dave & Buster's, and we had a really, really good time. After that, I was totally all about the dates. So it took 2 dates for me to feel a lot more comfortable with it. I mean, there were some other situations in between that were rocky, but that is definitely for another podcast. But yeah, we had a little bit of a rocky start, but it was awesome. I'm so glad that I just went with the feeling, even though I was super nervous because we wouldn't be here right now if I had just said no. So pretty cool story. Yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of people feel the same way, especially when you're starting new relationships, meeting new people, even new friendships.
I think new jobs, new cities, anything.
Yeah, I mean, and we've even read a few places that it takes you even 6 months to adjust once you move.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, I mean, like, if that's the case, and I know some people are like, well, it really doesn't take that long. Well, it does for your body, not even just you.
Yeah, and that's a whole other podcast talking about health. But we'll definitely get into all kinds of stuff like that. So, really, we just want to lay the groundwork for our background. And so that was, so that's kind of my background, how we met, how we got to North Carolina. Matt, you want to share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I lived on the south side of Indianapolis. And I grew up and just played a ton of sports, played basketball, football, track, just about everything that you can possibly play. And with that, I mean, grew up in a lot of different situations and had a lot of challenges along the way, and ended up going to college on a football scholarship. And
he was extremely good at football. Don't let anybody fool you. I've seen video proof.
And then after that, came back home, got hurt in high school playing football, and then got hurt in college again. So I came back home, got my business degree, and unlike Ashley, I never really fully used that. My first job was after college was with finance for a real estate company. And that company closed up after working there for about a month. And then I ended up by default going in the car industry, and was in the car industry for a long period of time. Then after that, went into banking, and then now consulting. So it's been a little different ride as far as job wise and just career wise, along with, creating a couple businesses with Ashley and just doing certain things that, we've tried to advance our life in every area. And I think that the most rewarding thing for me was obviously meeting Ashley and having that relationship. And my son, I had him when I was pretty young as well. He's been a huge blessing in my life. And we also have 2 dogs that are huge blessings as well.
Amazing. We are huge dog lovers. We have 2 German Shepherds named Haas and Marley. Haas was actually already named, I believe, when you got him, right, Matt? So Matt got Haas before I even met him. He was already a year old before Matt got him. I think he was supposed to be part of the police.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a part of the Indianapolis police force.
Yeah, and I think, what was the end of year, and they ran out of funding, something like that. So the dog was available, and Matt picked him, and he has been amazing. One of the best dogs ever. Super, super smart, super sweet. If I was ever scared of German Shepherds, I am definitely not now. I will go up to any of them. Probably not a good suggestion, so don't take my advice on that, because I'm sure some are trained to hurt. So I just see them as big teddy bears, and just because I live with them and I know how sweet they really are. They might look scary, but they are such little lovers. And it's really like we have fuzzy comedians, because they make us laugh all day long. They're super funny. They're not related, so they're not brother and sister, but they did come from the same breeder, who is fantastic. Marley is 6. Haas just turned 9 a month or so ago, and they've been such a blessing to us. We love them. They like to hike with us. They love car rides. They love walking. Anything where they get to be included, they are very happy. So
absolutely,
it's been pretty awesome. And Matt's son Cameron is amazing. We'll talk more about him too, and we could have him on the show. I think we should.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to go to college, so he was actually one of the seniors that didn't get to have prom or official graduation. They're going to graduate in the middle of this month, but it's not going to be obviously what it would have been had all of this COVID stuff not happened. So he was one of those seniors that was impacted. And I just feel for that, because I couldn't imagine my senior year not being able to go to the sporting events or do prom or, all the stuff that go with being a senior, and skipping school and missing stuff when everybody else is in class, and just the things that you've been waiting years and years and years to do that you don't get to do because of everything that's going on. So it definitely, my heart goes out to him for that, because he's had to go through that. But he's excited for college. He's going to be playing baseball at the University of Asbury, Kentucky. So we're excited for him, and just, we'll have to have him on the show. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and he even had a little bit of a struggle with that too, just because he didn't get to actually play his senior year of baseball, and he got a baseball scholarship. So as everybody can imagine, if you love to play something, you love to do something, and then that doesn't happen for you, that's obviously a very, traumatic situation, especially being, 18. So that's a whole different ballgame as far as that's concerned. And and he struggled with not able to do finals and, do the prom and
doing online schooling and all that adjustment. I actually think he started working faster than he would have. So the reason why we're talking like this is because he is still in Indiana with his mom, but we're definitely going to have him on here. So he did live with us for a little bit when we were in Indiana, which was a really cool experience, challenging experience, because that was when he was starting to get into his teen years. So I met him when he was 11. So Matt and I have known each other for 7 years now, going on 8.
Yep.
And so Cameron was 11 when I met him, and he was just a little thing with a little buzzed head. He was so cute. I took him to a bunch of baseball stuff because he played travel baseball, and just watching him grow and turn into the man that he is now is really cool. I don't know if it would have been that easy if he was a girl, just because I know of how I was as a teenage girl. So just watching a boy grow through that was good. It was challenging at times, but for sure very rewarding. And just to see, the person that he's becoming is really awesome.
I think that really it's just been a different experience overall. I mean, because of some of the stuff that we experienced with him is a part of the reason why we really started growing and changing as individuals too, because we knew that, or for me, I should say, I don't ever want to speak for both of us, but for me, I knew that how I communicate with everybody is not how I had to communicate with him, because he receives information different than how I want to receive information or how Ashley wants to receive information. And being able to connect with him, I knew I had to change to be able to connect with him, and not that he needed to change to connect with me, because I needed to set that example for him and how to communicate with people over different phases of life. Because I think that that's one thing that as leaders and, influencers, and being able to change and adapt in different society, different forms of, working, and different forms of business, different forms of leadership, all that stuff like that. You need to be able to communicate differently with different individuals. So,
yeah, that's awesome, babe. Absolutely. And I feel like a lot of that growth, probably all of that growth, honestly, is what led us to all of this, to own your life, to realize that our lives are our responsibility. They are 100% our responsibility. No, you're not responsible for where you're born, how you're born, all of that, but you are responsible for what you do with your life. And that's why, we created this, because we want to empower other people to take ownership of their lives, because I feel like there's a lot of victim mentality out there. And I've definitely been part of that and thought, oh, woe is me. If, Betty Sue didn't do this to me, then I would be XYZ further along or whatever. And that's not the truth. The truth is I made decisions or didn't make decisions, because sometimes not making a decision is making a decision. And, just really realizing that you got to change your mind. You have to change you. Nobody else is going to change you for you. And on the opposite side, you can't change others either. So it is your responsibility to change your life and own your life.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and for us, we don't know everything. We're not claiming to know everything. We're going to give advice just based off of our experiences. We're not experts or anything like that, but we just want to share with the world, what we have to say. And yeah, I don't think it's fair to keep it all bottled in. And, if this helps one person, it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. And I think that for me, I firmly believe, just like Ed Milet says, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And I think that that's been, kind of a theme, is that along my life, I thought that it was happening to me and not for me. Because I think that everything that happens to you can be for you. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's going to help you grow. It's going to help you change. It's going to help you accept the next step in your life of whatever that step is. And when you own that, then you can start owning your life, because when you own your life, everything changes. And when you own your life, you can be able to, I don't think we have full control, just because we are people of faith as well. You don't have full control, but you also do have control of your emotions and your responsibilities. And when you have control of your actions, your emotions, and your responsibilities, then you can change how everything is going to be outcome at that point. So
yeah, that's awesome, babe. Absolutely. Yeah. So we just wanted to start off by telling you guys a little bit about us. We've done all kinds of things together. We've moved multiple times, and that's a test in relationships to itself, because
what are we talking about? This is amazing.
Packing up everything, going through everything, moving while the other is at a distance. We have been in bodybuilding competitions. So we did that together, which might have been a good or a bad thing, because we were both really tired and really hungry at the same time. So kind of grumpy in our household at that time. But we've always tried to push ourselves to the next level and not settle for average. We've always wanted more out of life. And like I said, when I first, met with Matt on that first date, when he had talked about possibly owning his own business and whatnot, that actually scared me a little bit when he said that. But I was happy. I was happy behind those feelings, because it just showed that he was ambitious. I was scared he said that, because my dad has his own business, and I saw the struggles that he had gone through, and I just thought, ooh, I don't think I want to do that. But I was very narrow-minded at the time, and obviously not every business is equal. So what Matt was talking about is totally, different, not even the same
industry
at all. Yeah. So for him to have the exact same experience would be ridiculous and a very slim chance. So we've been through a lot and we just want to talk about it. So I think that, we're excited to get this rolling and
Absolutely.
Teach everybody, what we've learned and how to own your life. And the hope, healing, and peace is just what we've experienced, and we're still experiencing it. And it's not like that we've accomplished everything that we want to accomplish. So we are still growing through this, and we just want you guys to be on the journey with us.
Absolutely. At any point you guys want to comment, share your experiences with us, we'd definitely appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Any communication side of it, because this is a journey we want to take together with everybody.
Yeah.
And this is something that we want you guys to be included in. And anytime that there's a topic or something that you're struggling with or anything that we can possibly provide any type of value add to you, we want to do that.
And yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys, connect with you. And we're just excited for the beginning of this. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Thank you all for listening. If this added value to you, please click subscribe and rate and review us. You can also find us at Own Your Life Co. on Instagram and Facebook and ownyourlifeco.com. And as always, own your life because your life is your responsibility.